Okay, let's go to St. Mary Parish in Morgan City. That could be one of the possible areas getting a huge impact from Francine. We joined Matt Venezia. What's the latest there?
Yeah. Right now, to this point, you look at the streets. There's not really a whole lot going on here in Morgan City. They have in about half an hour. They're going to be starting they're going to have no one on the streets, right? They're going to have one of those just curfews. You got to be inside the building. But this is pretty notable. You see a lot of the places on this strip of the historic district all boarded up. There have been people inside here. We got here in the earlier part of the afternoon yesterday, and even this part of town just weren't a whole lot of people here. So people are preparing. They're being active, trying to make sure that they're not going to be caught in the front ends of Hurricane Francine, which, again, to this point, we were expecting early afternoon, definitely by noon, which is, not too far away from right now, to have expected those strong hurricane winds of about 80 miles an hour. Definitely not the case right now. It's been this kind of steady, fast drizzle rain that you kind of see here. You can look over there on the street side. You get some puddles forming up, and we were testing a little bit earlier just the splash and, kind of seeing what it's looking like up to this point. But really, we've spoken to Chad Adams, the police chief over here in Morgan City, and up to this point, once that curfew takes place, the officers are going to be hanging around the side of the streets for as long as they can before, their safety becomes into question. So up to this point, in about, again, 5 minutes from now, there really shouldn't be any residents, pedestrians, none of that on the streets here where we're standing, and we'll continue to stay safe on our end too with those measures and whatnot. But here on the other side, you got the seawall here with the south part of the Atchafalaya River. On the other side here, you got the Highway 90 bridge up in the right portion here that Brandon's going to pan over to show you. To this point, and we were standing up there earlier this morning when it was a lot calmer. At this point now, I'm sure water is collecting on the other side. That's just something that we're not able to visualize at this moment. But the seawall is actually going to help do a lot of great things. Obviously, it's going to keep the water out from the flooding and really help in that regard. But especially these shops here. And we talked to a shop owner yesterday afternoon. Actually wanted to get an interview with them. They were saying that they're not entirely too worried because of what the seawall does, and they think it'll kind of just go right over them. That obviously is still something we have to wait to see if that'll be true. But up to this point, again, it seems like every other shopping center, every other shopping location either has boarded windows, boarded doors, or like the one you're seeing right there. You got all glass, and there doesn't seem to be a worry in the world. So it's really anyone's guess what this will look like when it actually happens and hits. And up to this point, we're just going to provide the updates as we can and stay safe in the process. But again, historic district here in Morgan City, just trying to wait and see for when Francine's going to come make an impact here. But we're definitely seeing the appetizer, if you will, with the steady rain that is beginning to pile up. With that, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Matt Venezia live in Morgan City. We appreciate that as we come up on the 11 o'clock hour. Morgan City it's a little bit of a microcosm of New Orleans in the sense that it's the Atchafalaya River that runs through there. So as Matt pointed out, they do have the seawall, they have the levee on the river itself. But it's somewhat analogous to New Orleans in terms of it's up the river, a bit removed from the coast, even though it's pretty much a coastal city. But their concern obviously is that this flooding threat,
right, for all
depending
those
upon how this
there,